Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Truth About Marketing. I have a good friend here, Teresi, who is a model and influencer. She spent a lot of time in the golf world and now does a lot in the crypto for crypto advocacy and things like that. Bree, thanks for joining me.
Hi, Colin. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad we've been able to connect and finally get on the podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. This will be a lot of fun. I think we had a lot to talk to. Hopefully we can condense it all into 45 minutes. We always start everything out with this lightning round, so I'm sure you've seen it. Just quick fire answers, kind of get the conversation going, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Let's get going.
All right, let's do it. So, favorite business or marketing technology?
Substack. I would say Substack or another one, maybe even Stripe. Stripe is great. Helped me a lot, especially in my early days. I started a subscription platform and I use Stripe for all my payments.
No doubt. I use Stripe, so big fan of that. Favorite social channel?
I'm a huge believer in X. I love what they're doing for freedom of speech, but I would also say Rumble. Rumble has done amazing things in recent years.
Awesome. And least favorite social channel?
Instagram.
Even though that's their biggest platform. Love it. All right, brand with good marketing.
Guess Jeans by far. I've been a model for Guess Jeans for over 8 years now, and they definitely stay true to their beliefs, and I think that's fundamental for marketing.
Very good, very good. And then brand that needs help with marketing.
Ooh, there's a lot of up-and-coming golf brands. Golf has become really popular for women, I would say, in the past recent years, and there's not that many great brands that have, cute clothes for women, but there's a few that are up and coming, and I don't think they're struggling by any means, but they definitely need more attention. My favorite at the moment that's a small brand that I think could do better with maybe getting more investors would be Shop Goldie Bird. They have beautiful clothing, and I think in the next couple of years they're going to be huge.
Awesome. Favorite influencer or business leader?
Patrick Bet David, I would say. I actually met him a couple months ago. Phenomenal person, gives such great advice, and super humble.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a buddy go to one of his conferences and absolutely loved it. So heard nothing but good things. Brand or person you'd like to work with the most?
Oh, this is hard. I mean, there's so many people that I admire. I would say Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, is definitely someone that I think is absolutely brilliant, and I would love to possibly do something with Ripple one day.
Very good. Very good. XRP is coming up, so
yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that.
And people always think, they're like, are you paid? Does Ripple pay you? I'm like, no, they don't. I'm just a believer in XRP.
Very good. We had a buddy, that Sean Ivester, that was went to St. Francis with us, and he was one of the first, probably 20, 30 employees at Ripple.
Oh,
he's
wow. Cool.
Doing well, clearly, but yeah, super cool. All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about you today, kind of how you got to where you are and what you're working on these days?
Okay, awesome. So a little background on me. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. So I went to college for 2 years. I went to San Jose State, and then I started modeling full-time and moved out to LA. And at that time, I was really popular on Snapchat. Everything was kind of word of mouth. I was just a normal 18, 19-year-old that was growing an audience on there, and I would document literally all aspects of my life. So I would show my grandparents, my family, going out, doing all sorts of things, and that's kind of how my following grew. I was discovered by Guess Jeans. I moved out to LA, started modeling. At that time, I was also in a lot of comedy videos on YouTube, on Vine, on all over the place, and I was in so many viral videos. I lived at 1600 Vine, where Jake and Logan Paul lived. Everyone who was basically popular on the internet during that era. I lived in the same building with them.
Nice.
Very good. I kind of got into that scene, was in a lot of videos, started live streaming on YouTube and Twitch, and I've always liked to do a bunch of different things. So that was kind of when my following really grew and was getting a little bit stronger, and my modeling career really took off. I was really blessed to be able to work with a lot of great brands when I lived in LA. And then I would say during COVID, I got into golf, and all of a sudden I knew I can really brand myself this way. I think that's one thing I've always been pretty good at. When I discover something new and I really like it, I'm able to monetize it. And I was able to do that basically within a week for golf.
That's awesome.
I decided, I was like, you know what, I want to get good at golf. After that, I did one golf photo shoot. The pictures got a lot of attention online, started getting my engagement up again. And I was actually in a little series with Canelo the boxer.
Yeah.
And nice. Yeah, it was really cool. So that was kind of how that happened. And I just stuck with the golf thing. And golf is definitely a huge passion of mine. And I was able to really work with amazing brands and make a decent amount of money from golf.
Very good. Yeah, we got our cactus. I mean, we're in Scottsdale, right? So we have endless amounts of golf brands. Obviously, Paige was from here or lived here when she got big. And so talk a little bit more about that, because that's something that's super interesting to me as far as the idea that golf, like you said, has just in general gotten really popular these days. But I
Yeah.
think what's really interesting is that people are also just super engaged with other people who are okay at golf. You know what I mean? You got your Bob Does Sports guys, like shout out to FP. Like, now he's a good golfer, but like Bob, Joey, and the rest of them are kind of so at golf. But it's like people are so intrigued to watch them play and bet and do all these things that regular Joes. So like with Bob, FP, Paige, like all these people, Grant Horvath, all of them, like who are some of your favorite golf influencers or ones to watch? Because I mean, I'm always looking for new people and maybe I haven't heard of them, but those are some of my faves right now.
Okay, so I hope this isn't a disappointing answer. I don't really watch so much golf content from creators. I love following professional golfers, and I would say like Charlie Hull is one of my absolute favorite golfers. I love following her on Instagram, and Nelly Korda. I think they're amazing. And like Victor Hovland, I will screen record their swings just to be able to make my swing better. And that's like some of my favorite content to intake. But also, I would say like as a golf creator though, Sabrina Andolfo, who is a friend of mine, is probably my favorite golf influencer.
Okay. I'll have to check her out. I don't think I've seen her yet. But Charlie and Nelly both in Happy Gilmore too, which was a funny, they had really good cameos. Most people I don't think knew that it was who they were, but as a fan of golf, I thought it was hilarious. So
I thought it was so cool. So I've only watched half of it. So I only got to the cameo of Nelly Korda, but she is so beautiful. I mean, like, wow, that girl is everything.
Yeah, Charlie's cameo is hilarious too. But yeah, I mean, so Happy Gilmore, we could probably talk about that for hours. But I thought it was good. If you like golf, if you know are a Adam Sandler fan, it's a good movie.
I've had the pleasure because of golf to meet John Daly a few times. I have a few pictures
I've seen some pictures. He's got a pretty prominent role in the movie, so that was cool.
Oh, he's great. He is such a nice person. I think probably hands down one of the greatest people I've ever met.
He seems like, anybody that talks to him, anybody that comes up to him, he just is nothing, gives him time, like nice guy, which a lot of celebrities and athletes don't. They're like, all right, like here's your 5 minutes. And then
he is so humble. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love humble people. I don't like people that are arrogant.
Okay, so the only other thing, because it plays with the Happy Gilmore, the whole way that movie's set up. But what's your take, again, since you like to watch golf, the whole LIV versus PGA? Like, where are you at with...
great question. Great question. So I have had lots of experience with LIV and PGA. I dated a golfer for some time, so I've been to a lot of golf tournaments, both.
Yep.
On both tours. I would say LIV is super fun, and I've had a lot of great time at LIV, but the PGA Tour is also amazing. I think LIV, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I don't think LIV's going to be around for that much longer. I feel like people are kind of missing traditional golf. And I don't know. I mean, like, do people really even follow the scores on LIV? I feel like they just go for the party aspect, which is a lot of fun. And I've had my most fun probably at LIV golf tournaments.
Yeah. But, you haven't been to Waste Management, so.
Yeah, but like for traditional golf and actually like loving golf, the PGA Tour for sure.
100%. I agree. Like we went, I mean, our buddies Cody and Kev, like he was playing in the, Pro-Am for LIV and this and that. Like we went for a weekend and it's fun, but like it just doesn't have that like pageantry and like the profession. Like it doesn't feel the same, right? It feels like a minor league for the PGA, and that's just, again,
it also
we love
feels like people go there to be seen a bit. Yep. And I mean, I think though the people that took the contracts, I mean, they were very smart for doing that. Obviously, it's life-changing money, and they do what's best for their family. So no judgment towards the people. I think if anything, they were smart for doing that. But I think I'm just curious how long it will last.
Yeah, same. I mean, again, we our local guys. There's a shit ton of local golfers and whatnot that from Max to Wyndham to John Rahm, all those guys that are here in Scottsdale. So again, we even have more of a vested interest, in PGA and things like that. But I just don't know. Like I said, it seemed like a novelty thing. That's what it's feeling like it's turning out to be. I don't even. The worst part about it is I don't even know when and where to watch it. You know what I mean? It's not like I can turn on.
That's another thing. If they had, I think they do have like a TV deal now. I think it's CW, if I want to say, but it's like people don't watch it. Like when you go any restaurant or bar you go to, the Golf Channel's on. Right. Like people don't follow LIV to. I can't name you in the last tournament who won a LIV tournament. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you what the last one was.
Yeah, I can't either. I think I was invited to one and they are fun. So like if I'm able to go, like I'll probably go. But Yeah.
Talk a little about that aspect of it and why it's blown up so much in your opinion.
Yeah. So I came into like the golf scene knowing literally no one that played golf. I had a guy who was a good friend of my family. He's like, you should do a golf photo shoot. And I just listened to him and literally just posted these photos. And all of a sudden, people became very interested in me playing golf. And people are always like, what was your strategy? And I'm like, I really had no strategy. I was bored during COVID and I picked up a golf club. That was kind of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it is crazy. People love watching people's progress. And I started off like really horrible and I've become like I would say like a pretty decent golfer, you
Yeah.
know? And it's something that people just really enjoyed watching. And I think probably, you know, it was like a girl that modeled, had like kind of skimpy outfits on. They
Yeah.
probably wanted to watch that. But I've toned that down a lot. I would say in like the past year, I kind of
Yeah.
really wanted to focus more on like becoming a good golfer versus like shooting content all the time. And I think a lot of influencers struggle with that. It's like when you love what you're doing, but you're filming it all the time, you kind of lose the joy of the activity. And
Yeah.
that's kind of something I've been struggling with. And I really have taken a step back, I would say, in the past year. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how when you start seeing that you get eyeballs on something, that's like the exact time you need to figure out like how you're going to monetize it, what brands are going to want to work with you. But yeah,
Right.
through golf, I met literally so many people. It's insane. It completely changed my life.
Well, I think that's what's super interesting too, is like everybody wants to like, whether it's Paige or you or some, oh, it's like the sex appeal and this, that. It's like, okay, but how many times can you like watch somebody who's just like swinging in a short skirt or whatever? I mean, it's about the content, right? Like you're
Yeah, the
also,
personality.
it's the personality. It's like, it's
Yeah.
beyond that, right? I mean, I guess, yes, in your corners of the internet, there's certain weirdos, whatever. But like the idea is like, it's actually good content. And again, the Bob Does Sports guys, like, dude, they're gambling, they're making bad shots, they make a random hole in one. It's fun to watch. They're relatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like they're
that's
just like
exactly.
me.
It is relatable and it's like humanizing too, seeing like someone you have an idea of so strongly, like, oh, they're perfect, and then you see like, oh wow, they're like really bad at golf, or
Yeah.
they're like, how do they miss that putt? That's so annoying. So that's why I think like the good golf, the girls golfers, like they've all done so well
Yeah.
recently. It's really cool to watch.
I think one of my favorites too, Haley Ostrom, she's right here in Arizona. And like, same thing.
I love
She's a
Haley.
golfer. Yeah. But like, she goes out there and she'll show some videos where she's like, damn it, like bogey or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not every video
Yeah.
is not a birdie. It's like, she shows sometimes she plays bad golf too, just like the rest of us. So I think that's a really important part of it. But you mentioned that, you started in COVID. That wasn't
Yeah.
that long ago. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
again, today you got millions and millions of followers across your different platforms. So talk a little bit about what it was like building that up. And I know you said you didn't have a strategy, but like, as you started to pick up, like, what were things that you saw working, not working? How
Yeah.
did you kind of get to where
So
you are?
it's always about rebranding. Always. Like from the beginning of what I've been doing, I have been very good at rebranding. I think that's the only thing I'm good at, to be honest. Like I can rebrand and make money from it.
Okay.
So from the beginning, I would say it started off like just documenting myself as a young woman and like, okay, getting into modeling. And I was able to really monetize that. And then it became, okay, I'm going to be in all of these people's videos. I'm going to be in these live streams. And throughout that, I would gain different audiences. So I have all sorts of people that follow me. Even I would even say like another way I branded myself too was as like a conservative, as a
Mhm.
libertarian. Like I've been able to really, if I feel very strongly about my beliefs on certain issues, I definitely become very outspoken on the internet about that. And then I don't do that just to gain followers or attention,
Yeah.
obviously. But I'm saying like I even have now people that follow me because of my political views and my
Yeah.
opinions on things. And just over the years, as I've grown and as I've changed, obviously I'm completely different than I was when I was 16 years old. I'm 30 years old now.
Yeah.
So I feel like over the years I just have amassed different people, and some people stayed, some people have left, and I am always gaining different people. Just you always have to be growing and changing with the times. And I think too, it's like stay being authentic is really important. And I think one thing I hear a lot is I'm very authentic, probably more so on like my Instagram stories and stuff. I show my family, I show basically all aspects of my life, and people
Right.
really resonate with that, and they find it very human. And I
Yeah.
think that's what has also how I've been able to grow over the
So we talked a little bit about, physical appearance being one kind of factor, but also substance and personality. I mean, that counts for a lot when it comes to being an influencer and everything. And one of the quotes that I really liked that you said was, you can reveal your body, yet not let your physical appearance define you. Right. So What does that mean for you? And then, when it comes to being an influencer, like how do you kind of explain that to other people?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hadn't thought of that quote I said for some time. I think I wrote that many years ago. But I think it is very true. For me, I've always been multifaceted. If I want to do something, I always do it. So I've never let really something hold me back. I've been a professional fashion model. I've also been an Instagram model, a golfer. And I've always kind of told myself just because I look this way, or maybe I'm a swimmer lingerie model, doesn't mean I can't walk into some of the most important rooms in the world and still be respected because of the way I carry myself. So that's why I've always made it very important to myself, to be educated, to read, to always be sharp-minded. And I've always seen that as like a strength. So people are always going to judge you by the way you look, regardless of the way you look. And I think like just make it like people are probably they judge books by their covers, and that's not necessarily a wrong thing. That's just how humans are. I always just kind of like to surprise people. So maybe they think less of me, and then they start talking to me, and they'll realize I'm not like what they maybe thought. And I think that I use it to one of my strengths.
And so for other women out there, and there's a lot that are just like you in terms of wanting to like be respected and not just be about the looks, like what's some advice that you would give them in terms of, hey, you can do this and you can still obviously, be a beautiful woman, but also get respect by doing this, right? Like what's kind of the advice there?
So I would say confidence is the most important thing. Being confident, but also setting boundaries for yourself. So as a model, I always set boundaries. There was things I wouldn't do. There was things that I would do. And I always really stayed firm to those boundaries over the years. And also I think just owning who you are, like this is the way God made you. God blessed you with maybe the ability to be a model. Own it, and be proud of it. Be proud of who you are. Be proud that you're a great athlete, that you're smart, or you can speak well. And I would just say like own it, and don't let the only opinions that's important is your own opinion of yourself and of what God thinks of you. And I've always like thought that.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of, you're going to do things, you want to make decisions, you take action, you stand up for what you believe in. But at the end of the day, like you kind of you got to do what you think's right and what you believe in and stand for. You can't listen to all the haters and the negativity. If you did that, like, again, I've had clients where this person made a negative comment. Okay, that's one out of how many thousands of people? Like, we got to just let it go. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. Like, there's always going to be haters.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. Who cares? I care, like, obviously, I care what my family thinks of me. I care, like, people in my life think of me. But there's also people in your life that are, like, secretly jealous of you and secretly want you to fail. So I think the hardest part is the beginning. And I got like a lot of judgment when I first started modeling, and maybe this would be advice to young models. When I first started modeling, and maybe doing test shoots and stuff, like certain people were very judgmental, like in my close circle. Not my parents or anything. They didn't care about that, but certain people. And if I let that get to me, I would not be where I am in life. I'd probably be miserable as like an attorney, slaving away. And it's like, I've always, there's certain people, like you should have a few people in your life that you go to for advice. But at the end of the day, it needs to come from within, and you shouldn't listen to all the noise.
Well, that's one of my favorite quotes. It's like lions don't care about the opinions of hyenas. And at the end of the day, that's true.
Yeah.
Like all those people that are just sitting behind their little keyboards or in their computer or whatever. And again, with the faceless social media profile, just some random ass name with a bunch of numbers, like who cares what those people think? They're obviously not doing anything. Like, why do I care about a hyena? You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to do something bigger or get to a mountaintop. You know what I mean?
Also, like, think of all the people out in the world, and especially like in recent times that we see that we used to idolize, and we're like, oh wow, these celebrities were perfect, and then you find out all the horrible things they were doing, and you're like, okay, really? Like I was judging myself for doing this, and these people are like committing crimes and doing like the worst things imaginable, and you're judging yourself over like, oh my gosh, I'm posing in a swimsuit online.
Right.
Like I kind of think about that sometimes.
I personally, like, as I've gotten older, you just realize everybody has something. Okay. Like everybody's got some dirt. Everybody's got some weird, issue or thing that they deal with. Right. And to your point, to judge yourself off of anything less than that, like with the idea that, hey, give yourself some forgiveness, give yourself a little bit of, gray area, whatever. Again,
Yeah.
be a man of God, strive, do whatever you can, but
Yeah,
like
of
you're going to make
course, of
mistakes. We're
course.
human,
Yeah.
you know?
Years.
So one thing that I think that's super interesting that you just mentioned, right, is this idea that you got to keep rebranding, you got to keep growing, but you also have to stay authentic. I think that, me myself running a marketing agency, you have clients and stuff and they'll be doing really well. And then they start, maybe stagnating a little bit, and you want to do new things. You want to try new things,
Yeah.
but you also want to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of deal. What do you think about like the idea? Because again, trends come up. There's like these viral TikTok trends or viral videos, and a client will be like, "Well, we should do that." It's like you're an accounting firm, like that. Why would you go?
Yeah, it's not on brand.
It's not on brand for you, right? So
Yeah.
like, not to say that like, hey, everything has to be, but what do you think about that in terms of, again, you work
That's
with brands, right? You
yeah,
work for guests, you work for others. Like, you got to stay on brand and who you
for
are,
sure.
but like, how do you branch out sometimes?
I think that is such a great question, and it's funny because my best friend Hannah and I always talk about this. There's certain people we see that are very high profile people, and we see that they're doing these stupid trends, or they're making themselves almost like seem less than because they're trying to be normal. And we're like, why are they doing this? This is not on brand. Like, they're amazing because they're unachievable, or
Right.
you kind of get what I'm saying. So for me personally, I mean, maybe I'm not the best at this, but the TikTok trends and stuff, I don't feel like I'm not a dancer. Okay. You know what? I have a lot of talents. Dancing isn't one of them. So I never did any of the dancing trends because I'm like, this is not me. But
Yep.
I think for some people, it is important to follow trends that are more fitting for them. Like, you shouldn't just follow any trend because people are going to see through that, and then they're not going to
Right.
follow you because of you. Like, I have my core people that will follow me wherever, and they support me and they like what I stand for and maybe what I'm doing and stuff, but they follow me because of me, not
Right.
just because of what I look like or because I'm following all these stupid trends.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So this is another debate that we were kind of talking about earlier, right? Is okay, then you have the other deal, whether it's an influencer, a brand, a marketing campaign, whatever. It's like, all right, the very staged, well lit, nice camera,
Yeah.
like versus just grab your iPhone and shoot, right? Like, what is your take on that?
Okay,
Because I
so
get into arguments about this.
you're gonna this is I'm like bringing up my best friend Hannah again too, and my mom, and they're always like, you literally, like, I don't own a camera. Like, this is so embarrassing. I have been able to make, I would say I've done pretty well for myself.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
able to do pretty well for myself. I don't own a camera.
that's
I own like a
crazy.
shitty tripod that I always have problems with. You're able, like, just with the phone, you're able to like do basically everything.
Okay, so you're a proponent of the phone is enough type of deal.
Yeah, but also I think I will say this, and maybe I need to kind of, maybe this is gonna help me a little bit. I did used to work with a filmer.
Okay,
Shout out to Jeremy Lee. We killed it together. We got millions of views over the years, like, had so many viral things. And Eric Rakeshaw. When I used to work with a team of people, my stuff was better. It
okay.
was. But my stuff also, like, when I shoot on an iPhone, I think I've gotten sometimes more views on an iPhone. When my mom takes my pictures, I think she captures me for really like who I am.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she gets like the candid shots, and she's so, but I do think like you don't need all this fancy stuff. No, you just literally need your iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, yes, sometimes there's a time and a place for it, especially if it's something that you're going to peg down like a funnel or a full blown marketing campaign. Yeah, you probably want some nicer
Yeah.
setup, make sure everything's right. But on a day to day, and like you just want to get a message out, you just want to be you, like you said, be authentic. Just
Yeah.
grab your phone and shoot. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
reacting. I think one of the greatest things on the internet, again, that you connect with people, either you do or you don't, is when a story comes up or a news article or something, and you just give your reaction because it creates conversation. You know what I mean? And that was the whole point of
Yeah.
social media in the first place, was the idea that we're supposed to be having conversations and like exchanging
Yeah.
ideas and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean, that's literally the point of social media, was to replace like human to human in person
Yeah.
interaction. So yeah, I mean, just responding to news pieces. And that's literally like when you're gonna get the most attention, is when you don't realize it. Like, the
Yeah.
times I've tried to get, I'm like, this is gonna go viral. Like, it never does. It's the
Right.
times where I literally am like, how did this get attention?
Oh my God. I
It's,
literally, like, there's stuff that I think that I have such good content on here sometimes, and like it goes nowhere. And then
yeah.
other times I'm like I was at Havasu and filmed, like I was filming a boat race, and the boat just happened to flip up in the air and whatever and land. Of course, that gets 500,000 views, but my thing that's like legitimate content gets nothing. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a
Yeah.
weird
Yeah,
place.
I know, but you're right. But even for kind of important ads. Like here's an example of something I had to do back in May. I went to XRP Las Vegas and it was like a phenomenal conference, and they asked me, they're like, can you make a few ads for YouTube? And they used them in a bunch of YouTube videos. And I said, sure. I filmed it on my iPhone, and
Yeah.
they were very happy with it. It was fine. Like I had a nice obviously had a nice background, but even for something that's, I would say, like kind of perfect, like, well, very professional,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the iPhone is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk a little bit more too. You said monetization, and like you've been able to monetize rebranding and things like that. What does that monetization look like, right? Because I think everybody sits here and goes, okay, well, I can make contact, I can go live, I can do streaming, I can do, but then they're like, well, wait, how is everybody making all this money? There's the one guy, he's actually pretty dope. He does like some comedy, some like rapping, some stuff. Nerd Dork or something like that is his name. He's a pretty funny guy. But he's like, one of his viral videos, he's like, I don't know, I must be doing something wrong because I get millions of views and I don't make shit. So like, it's like, that's a very big thing that people don't understand. So talk a little about like what that monetization looks like.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I've never been like big on YouTube. I love YouTube, and it's probably one of my favorite platforms. I watch it a lot. I don't really watch TV, but I've never like posted really long form content on YouTube. A couple times. So like I've never like really benefited from the AdSense on YouTube. And I know like for a while it was really good. I had many friends that were very popular on YouTube. So obviously that's a way to make money. On Twitter, or I mean, sorry, on X, people do make money through ads. It's weird. I am on Twitter. I always say Twitter.
I say it too. It's still Twitter to me. I don't care. Whatever.
So on X, like I do make money on X through AdSense. It's weird. I was one of the first people to have a subscription button on there, but I was having issues with it. And then now I've been in like limbo to get it back for over a year. But so that's a way, obviously. And some people do very well through the AdSense on there and then through the subscription button. Instagram, for me, where I would say like my bread and butter was from making money on a platform was Instagram. I have been able to work with a lot of brands over the years and, negotiate good contracts. And that's how I was making money on Instagram. It wasn't through, them and their like creator funds. Although Facebook used to have a very good program. I think it was like up to $30,000 a month.
Wow.
For a lot of creators. But yeah, I mean, so like obviously subscription platforms, that's a great way for influencers to make money. And then brand deals. There are so many brands that have huge budgets that are really willing to pay for great content creations. Yeah.
So we've talked about it before on the show too, but like I'm such a huge fan of like leveraging influencers and doing brand deals with individuals. However, I'm almost to the point of being like anti like celebrity or anti like big name because they don't have this like loyal following. And I always use Mike Stud or Mike now as like my example. Like he has his whole crew of like Steves and his only Steves and Stevenson Ranch. He's created such like a community that are so diehard that like for him to have thousands and thousands of people, they will literally do whatever he wants. Like he puts out a hat, puts out new songs, has his community, like they love him. Well, yeah.
And that's not every influencer. Yeah, those are like a few. Yeah.
I'd rather work with those that have people that are like committed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think to that
it's different. Like, for me, I'll be honest, like where I've made most of my money is the way I look. And from guys wanting, to, if I ever had merchandise I used to kill it. I remember I created my own subscription website with the help of my grandma when I was like 20. I killed it on there. Like I did all that whole like never anything weird, it was not like weird content, but I built out stuff like that because I realized I'm not going to be selling hats. People want me. They will pay to see my content, and that's how I've been able to make a very good living for myself. And then like I used to shoot swimsuit calendars. I used to kill it on that. So things that I would have to just know like what's going to sell for myself.
Yep. And that's important too, right? Understand like where your value comes from. Because like again, like you said, great. You make like a Breed Teresi t-shirt. I mean, am I going to walk around and wear that? Probably not.
No, and that's like men won't wear that. But I'm like, if I have other things, people will buy that. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's just knowing your audience and like what they want. And also, I'm like, okay. The thing is with content too, I'm gonna have to have no investment in buying all these t-shirts.
Right.
I'm gonna make more money. My return is going to be significantly more.
Absolutely. That comes to like IP and like you're just all you need is a laptop or a camera, a phone.
Yeah.
That's all you need to get this stuff going.
For sure.
But talk a little bit too, because like, I had Brandon Tatum on here a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
Yeah. So we talked about the idea that he's so polarizing, right? But to the same point that you made earlier, it's not that he's doing it on purpose. Like those are his convictions,
No,
those are his beliefs. The
I'm also
problem,
polarizing. Yeah.
but it's not even intentional, right? It's not like
No.
you're over here. So there are the guys again that are in media and that are purposely like poking and purposely over the top,
Oh, and
right?
clickbait, like Benny Johnson, like all
Yes.
those guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like it's so weird today that like even if you just stand in your beliefs and you have a strong opinion about something
Yeah.
that you're seen as polarizing. But realistically, that's just because people want everybody to kind of ride the fence, be politically
Hmm.
correct, and just
Yeah,
be
I'm
good for
not. I'm
everybody.
like not politically correct.
So
Yeah.
talk about the importance of that again, going back
Yeah.
into the whole like being genuine, being yourself, and like not being afraid. I think there's a lot of people out there that are afraid to be themselves
Yeah.
because they're worried about the negativity,
Yeah,
the
you're right.
potential backlash.
So, you know what? I'm going to bring up something I didn't really want to bring up today, but because you teed it up so nicely, I will. Okay, so obviously we're getting over the wokeness now.
Yep.
We're entering into new times for me. Ever since I was a kid, I've always, if I believe something, I say it. I don't care like the repercussions of something. Maybe that's a fault. I don't know. Maybe it's stupid, but that's how I am, and I'm not going to change that. A couple years ago, I made a comment on a social media post, and I did not think anything of it. It got a lot of attention. I was all over the news for like a week. It was
Yep.
actually it was way too much attention. I never want to have that again. I said something very polarizing, but a lot of people stood by my side because I said that. But then obviously a lot of people didn't. It affected my livelihood. We'll just end it at that.
Yeah.
But it did. I had the consequences to my actions, but I stand by those, and I would do it again. With that being said, I gained an entire like a new audience because of that, because people were like, wow, this girl stands up for what she believes in. She has morals and values, even though like, you know, she's a model or and all this, and you gain respect by other people. And it is scary. But more people need to be like that, because we wouldn't have been in the situation we were in if more people stood up for what was right. And it's funny because Tatum actually, Officer Tatum did put me in his video regarding
Yeah.
what I'm talking
Oh,
about. I
really?
was in one of
Okay.
his videos because of this, and
Yep.
I think he respected what I did. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean, I think being polarizing is not necessarily a bad thing. I think you gain more of a stronger group. And even for me, like I'm on OnlyFans and everything. I don't post any nudity, and I've been able to like have a very strong core group of people on there. And it's actually funny because after what happened, I gained even more people on there that followed me because of my political beliefs.
Yeah.
And I actually started catering to that on there. And now I have like a show on OnlyFans, like through my
Nice.
own personal channel, where I talk about current events, cryptocurrencies, and I share way more than I ever thought I would ever share on there. You know, my voice. And yeah, so, you know, sometimes things are a blessing, and you never know, but I think it's always important to stand up. And
Yeah.
I also do believe in hard times like that, God will always provide, and he'll always have something else that will come back from standing up when it's hard, because it's not easy.
Yep. I especially believe that too when it's the right thing. You know what I mean? Like in your
Yeah.
heart, it's the right thing. No one's
Yeah, of
sitting here to
course.
like, hey,
And
go
not
tear
doing it
people.
for attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And no one's saying here, go start tearing people down just to like, because you wanted, like, you need to do it. Like, to your point, it gets to a certain point where something is so strongly convicted in you that you need to share it.
Yeah.
Now, again, is there ways to massage it? Is there a way to PR it? Like to do it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, maybe would you take back the comment? Maybe. But like,
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't
okay.
have. I didn't say anything wrong. I wouldn't
Okay.
have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go. So like,
Yeah.
I didn't actually see the comments. So I don't know what it said.
Oh, I
But
just said I would never work with this brand, and I'm pretty sure you would
okay.
agree with me based on what. Yeah, I'm not a hateful person.
Perfect.
I'm pro humanity always, but I think there is right and wrong when it comes to certain things. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, God blessed me with a voice. He blessed me with the way I look, but he also blessed me with a voice to speak up. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so that's going back to like kind of the beginning of this. It's like, that's what's so hard is I think a lot of people are afraid of what's on the other side. So if I do this, then what? Right. And when it comes to things like this and what you're talking about, again, whether it's politics, religion, like personal preference, all these type of things, like,
All my favorite things.
yeah, you should be able to say like what you feel and what's in your heart. Again, as
Yeah.
long as it's not like hateful and like intentionally attacking people, like I'm kind of like, all right, like listen, her
See,
opinion is her opinion.
I believe in freedom of speech, and I
Yeah.
think like every day our rights are like, I mean, like over the years our rights have been really like government has gotten bigger, and they try to suppress our speech. They try and survey us more. They're trying to censor us, and I don't like that. I
Yep.
just believe like people should be left alone. They should be able to say what they want. Obviously these platforms are owned privately, so they are going to have their rules, but I think people just have become so soft these days, and
Yeah.
it's like if I say something that you don't like, unfollow me.
Right.
You
Shut
don't
shut your computer.
you're not forced to look at me or hear what I'm saying. I don't know, but especially when it's a grown man and they can't like tolerate something, I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
Well, trust me, I came from the Silicon Valley world and the whole,
Yeah.
again, she, he, they, them, like that. I was like done. I was like, I can't look, to each their own, but like I shouldn't have to change me because of whatever agenda
No.
you're trying to push.
No. No. Yeah, and that's
So,
why like you stand up for it. You do it in a godly way, but you stand up for what you believe in.
yep, absolutely. Continuing on, that being, I mean, we talked a little bit about politics, a little bit about crypto. Like you've done that. You actually have like a political science background, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I studied political science. I always thought I was going to become an attorney, and I
Same.
didn't. I went down a different. Oh, you as well?
I thought I was going to be like a lawyer than a sports agent. I thought that's how it was
That's
all going
really
to work
cool.
out, and
I could see
never.
you being both.
Instead, I just talk and argue with people.
No, but isn't that weird how sometimes it works out and it's like even though you went down like a completely different route, sometimes things kind of come back to using certain skills. So you never
Absolutely.
know.
Yep, absolutely. So, that being said, you have that background, and then now you've gotten into, again, you've had some political kind of stuff go on, like you've definitely heavily influenced in golf, and then now you've worked your way into crypto. So like how did
Yeah.
that kind of evolve, and what are you doing now with that?
Okay, cool. So yeah, I've been in crypto for 7 years now, and I would say like the past year I've become a little bit more vocal online about it. In person, I was always telling people I would be like, "Oh, buy this, like this is gonna, like this is the future," and people would always think I'm crazy, and then now they're kind of like, "Okay." But I would say, I don't know, like I've always been, I grew up with two amazing parents. My mom really, really influenced us at a young age to really understand the evil of central banks, the Federal Reserve. We grew up like at our dinner table, we were always talking about basically history and economics, and she really had a big impact on my life. And she was the one who actually really got me into cryptocurrencies, and I really wanted to share that information with people online. So I put out a couple posts, and then I started seeing people actually kind of enjoyed what I was saying and they started taking my advice. So on X, I just started posting more about cryptocurrencies, and I always think it's funny because my page, people really never know what they're gonna get. They're like, oh, it's Bree
Yeah,
in a bikini. Oh, then it's Bree talking about this, and then it's this. Then it's just a little confusing, probably, but
sure.
that's me, and that's how I am. But yeah, I think the future is definitely in cryptocurrencies. I think I would love to see money separated from the government, and I think we are on the right track to that. And it would definitely basically end all the wars, and it would be amazing to live in a world where people use peer to peer money rather than money that's just endlessly printed and controlled by the central banks.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, we have tons of friends, tons of group chats, tons of that are, whether it's in the traditional stock market or crypto, whatever. And
Yeah.
there's a lot going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
So it's super interesting. I think, look, I'll send it to you on the side, but I have like a old photo. I was at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. I think it was like 2015, something like that. And I don't know, Bitcoin was at like a couple $100, something like that. And I was like, a Bitcoin ATM, like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I took a picture. I was like, so dumb. And it's on my X, actually. It's on my account. So I'm like, way, way, way back when. And now I'm like, God, you moron. Like, imagine if you just bought like 10 of them and just
Yeah.
held on to
Yeah.
them this whole
But
time.
I mean, that's how I feel like it is with XRP. It's people's opportunity. XRP was created after a Bitcoin by people that were very involved in Bitcoin, and they thought it was a better Bitcoin. So I think that
Yeah.
speaks volumes, and it's still very low right now. So XLM and XRP, if I were to, talk about two coins I really believe in,
Exxon
would
Stellar,
be
right?
yeah, Stellar
Yep.
Luna.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your take on Ethereum? Because again, it's layer one, like
Yeah.
whatever. But like,
I
where
like
do you?
Ethereum. I have Ethereum. I used to have a decent amount, and I ended up like reinvesting it and buying back a little bit. But I think Vitalik is one of the most brilliant people, and yeah, I mean I believe in it. I think they're adding like certain privacy layers, and there's so many cool things in like the privacy space right now
Yeah.
that are happening. Like there's this coin called Zano that's also really interesting that I post a little bit about. And yeah, I think there are some really amazing projects that are in the works right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
I like Ethereum.
Very good. Very good. So, all that being said, kind of what do you have in the works right now and then moving forward? I know we talked, again, you got the golf stuff. I mean, I don't think you're
Yeah.
doing as much political stuff anymore. You got the crypto stuff, but like what's some exciting things you're working on right now?
So I thought I was kind of done with modeling. Like in studios, I was just like, okay, I want to be done. And recently I started modeling again. I was with guests all last week, and I kind of realized I'm like, you know what, I still have a few years I think I can model for. So that's kind of exciting to kind of be back in LA. I hadn't been in LA for a year. I kind of told myself I would never go back. And so I was back in LA, and I think honestly, I have some crypto projects that I am sort of involved with, and as an investor, that I'm really excited for,
Good.
just to see what's going to happen. I know we spoke a little bit in text, and uh, I would like to see myself go more in that direction and continuing day by day, just to continue to learn and to grow in that, and as an investor, and be able to really give back to the community one day.
Yeah.
That's really what I would like to see. And I really love also, and this isn't something I make money from, I love helping people who are facing lawfare by the Biden DOJ. Really went after a lot of big crypto pioneers. And I don't know, I would say the past 6 months I've been trying to help two people in that space, and just to bring more attention to what's going on. And I would say that's a passion of mine. It kind of makes sense with my political science background, but I would love to continue to go in that direction when I don't have to worry about making money. I could
Right.
possibly help more people.
Yeah.
That's the direction I would like to see myself going. So once crypto really starts to take off, hopefully we see that pretty soon.
Oh, I think we're right at the
Yeah.
cusp. Again, I venture to say that like I know things about, finance, investing,
Yeah.
things like that, but like every day seems to surprise me. Again, like I could have told you today, like, yes, Figma, IPO, gonna be big. Tech IPOs always are, but like to go from $25 to at one point, I think it was at like 120, 130 today and halting trading. Like, I mean, God, right? And then Coinbase somehow was like 80, they missed estimates by like 89% or something. People are like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw
whatever,
that.
and just keep investing in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I saw that. I saw
it
that.
keeps flying. You're like, all right, well, whatever. We're not even paying attention to the actual numbers anymore. Let's just blindly go in. But I think it's a super interesting space. I agree. I think everybody should have some sort of, whether it's even just like 5% of your
Oh
portfolio
my
in some
gosh,
sort of
yeah, it's
crypto.
crazy.
Like,
The people I meat that are okay, this is what like always gets me. Like I'm like have to hold my face because it makes me so angry. When I meet a young man, let's say 15 to 30 years old or 40 years old, they all should have crypto. And when they say they don't, I'm like, are you crazy?
yeah,
Like
just anything.
how do you not it's so strange to me.
Well, the one that always bothered me is people like, oh, I don't have enough to get a Bitcoin. You don't have to have $100,000. Like literally, just
I
buy
know.
$100 worth of Bitcoin. Nobody sits
Yeah.
there and says, I can't afford a gold bar. Well, what do? You buy like
Yeah.
a gram of gold, or like, you know what I mean?
I will not date
Oh,
a guy if they don't like invest in crypto, precious metals. They don't have to have a lot, but they should have some because that's hard money. It's sound money.
well, again, going back to your point, if all shit hits the fan and things go wild, like you
Yeah.
gotta have something that you can trade, and gold and silver is it. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
God's money, and like I think that's crazy. When people are like, "I can't afford it," I'm like, anyone can afford to go buy some silver,
You buy
or
silver
even to go
coins.
buy some like XRP or XLM. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but some people they can't. They're just tunnel vision. They can't see
Yeah.
outside of the
Can't see the
tunnel.
forest beyond their tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, all right. I think we went through mostly everything. I don't know if there was anybody else or anything else, other topics that you wanted to touch on, but I think we got quite a bit covered. Yeah. I mean, on the golf front, are you still going to end up doing more with golf as well? Or are you kind of
Yeah. I'm really excited. It's funny 'cause, like for a little while, I took a break from really creating a lot of videos, and I'm kind of getting back into it. I had a couple videos do well recently, and I'm like, okay, it kind of inspired me again. But I would like to start filming golf content again. I think a break was needed though. So more golf content coming soon. I used to do a fun thing where I used to basically do like golf round giveaways. I was with a brand I used to work with, and that was so much fun. I would like film vlogs doing that. I'm thinking about bringing that back, doing like some golf round giveaways and and film
You
it.
could probably do it on your own. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
just you, like, hey, everybody, it's $20 or a ticket or an entry or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like before it was really extravagant. It was like win a round of golf to Pebble Beach, like
oh,
things like
geez.
that. And that was really cool and super exciting. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just start filming golf again because people love it. And I've gotten a lot better at golf. So
That's good. What's your
we gotta
handicap
play.
now?
I'm a 10 handicap. We gotta
I'm
play
literally like an
sometime.
11.5. So
Okay,
I
so
was
we're like the
getting
same.
close to 10, and then
Yeah.
had a rough few months. So I hadn't golfed for a little bit. So I'm probably like about an 11 or 12. So
We'll have to play sometime. That would be really
definitely,
fun.
definitely, if you get out to Scottsdale, for sure. Have you ever come to the
Yeah.
Open, the Waste Management?
So funny. I've been invited so many times. I've never gone. I've always said
My
no.
God, it's like the greatest week of the year here because it's also always on Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not really. It's like too many people, too much alcohol. I'm a little boring in that sense. I don't like being around drunk people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear that. So yeah, so Bree, if there's nothing else, like I think we covered a lot, and it was super good talking to you. Obviously, I feel like we could talk for a few more hours, but yeah, thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get to connect again here soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I know I talk a lot.
Listen, same. I'm the same, but cool. Well, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
You got it.